Hi, my name is Joanie'S. Welcome to my channel. If you haven't been to my website yet, please go to joanieswhitelighthealing.com. You could find out more about how I went from therapist to psychic, medium, healer, and spiritual counselor. I'm presently located in North Central New Jersey. I am originally from Long Island, New York, and I've got that New York spirit in me here in New Jersey. If you're interested in having an in-person reading, please feel free to contact me through my website. Phone, Skype, Facebook video, and FaceTime videos are all equally effective methods to getting the job done, and you could also request that as well. So I am on YouTube right here, and if you haven't subscribed, please do. And if you press the bell all icon, you'll get notifications every time I put out another video. I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook. I also do a monthly blog talk radio show with my friend Caroline. It's the UK-US Psychic Tag Team Connect Across the Pond, and we are very thick into our about 6.5 years of doing this live call-in psychic radio show. We love it. So with that being said, here I am. And I decided that I was going to do a piece on being of service, and you're going in and asking yourself how you are contributing to the healing, to the love, the spreading of peace and contentment and healing for others. Oftentimes I speak about doing that for self, which is paramount to healing others, but I would like to take time out to speak a little bit about service to other. So it seems that when the veil comes over us, when we are incarnated, we forget that we are all connected as one, and as one, we are all love. And that oftentimes fear is encountered. And with that human experience, we move sometimes into a state of jonesing for ourselves, of jonesing for our own security's sake, and we forget about other. I believe that being of service to other is an extremely important part of our human experience. It is a way of our connecting. It is a way of our giving. It is a way of our healing. It is a way of our embracing and accepting and understanding, empathizing and having compassion. Many, many people are socialized to be service to self, to be selfish in the ego, greedy, taking type of a way. And oftentimes with folks' insecurities, they end up doing so in order just to manage. Whereas when one heals self, it becomes more easy to consider other. Wouldn't that be so? Wouldn't you agree? So I would always say, we'd fall back on any of Joanie's videos, take care of yourself, work through your issues. And when you find that you are in a state of balance, consider other. Now, it doesn't mean that if you aren't balanced, you spend your whole life being of service to self, and maybe in your last years when you feel you finally got it, that now you'll think of other. I don't mean that. It is mostly important for you to be there for yourself and heal your issues. In addition, there are many others around you that are here to be interacted with and assisted. It could be anything from you're just living near them, working in the same department or maybe same floor as they, crossing paths with them. If your vibration is such where another might be of a lower vibration, you are lifting them, and that is being of service. When you know, in fact, that you are doing that from a humble perspective, it even feels good to know that you're giving to other in that selfless way. So the first thing, which isn't much of anything called work, is being. Just your being you in that love vibration offers much in terms of service to other. And I believe it is a blessed gift when you do that. Now, I recently did a piece on codependence. So there are many people that grapple with When do I help and when do I not? And should I? And did they ask, or do I do this unsolicitedly? So that is your work, is to figure out when you offer a helping hand, whether you solicit it or whether it is unsolicited, how often you do it and to whom. By offering your assistance in whatever way, it could be from very small to very great, that is also another way of service to other. Okay, so what happens if you're focusing more on yourself and you're not focusing on being of service to other? Well, it doesn't mean that you're a bad person. It means that there's a part of the human experience that you might have lost touch with. And I would strongly suggest that you do the following. I learned this when I was being trained as a clinical social worker. It has to do with developing empathy and compassion. If there's someone who is in your midst, or someone who isn't, but they're a group, a person that you know or don't know, and you're having difficulty regarding feeling others' situation, their pain, having difficulty putting your head, grasping it or wrapping your head around it, you can do the following. It's quite simple, is you try to put yourself in their shoes. Now there is a saying, ... when you've walked a mile in my shoes. And that's a very, very important task that one needs to experience while they're here, is to focus on other and see whether they can develop that empathy and compassion. Oftentimes that jumpstarts many people who have been more of service to self than service to other. So when you do that in your mind's eye, or you could even have an empty chair. I used to be a Gestalt therapist, so that's the empty chair technique. You put an empty chair in front of you and you put that person or that group or that concept or institution in that chair. And then you have to get a visual of it and get the feeling of it. And then you could even go over to that chair and be that person, be that group, be that concept, that institution. Go into that other's shoes and feel their experience. That can motivate you, or maybe even help you decide whether you are to get involved. People passively get involved, people actively get involved, or both. And that is your path, your choice, with your discernment. There is no one that is going to tell you what to do but you. When you go inside and you use your intuition, when you get still, and you could call upon your higher self and your spirit guides for guidance, you will have more of a sense of knowing in how you can be of service to other, if at all. Again, why, Joni, why are you mentioning service to other? Well, we've got a golden age here. I believe there's a new earth that's a brewing. And it's fabulous. And there are high, high love energies that are streaming down onto this planet. And while all the muck is coming up to be seen, we have a lot of individual choices that people are making regarding where they fit in. Am I going to be part of that love system where there is this give and take and this respect? And there isn't leveling off. There is mutual, possibly bartering, and evenness of communication and assistance, service to other. So that, I believe, is our birthright. I believe that outside of this earth plane, we are of service to other more than service to self, because we know that all of us are pieces of the oneness. We're all God's spark. So how would we not think of other in relation to self? Because we don't want to neglect other. We wouldn't want to neglect self. We want everyone to be managing well and being fruitful and being successful and feeling that sense of joy. So, how am I of service to other? I am service to other in prayer, where I think of others healing, and I in that passive stance, I think about who would need healing, and then I pray about it. I don't believe it's a formal way that I pray. I just send it up, and I hope that all the souls are alleviated of pain and that they do their individual work and they find the resources, etc. I make phone calls to people. I reach out by text and email. I make plans with seeing people in person. I believe that the interactions that I have with others are yummy, they're delicious, mutually beneficial. But I believe in the way that I reach out, how I do it, how often I do it, and what we do in those exchanges is just perfection. And if I can assist in lifting another soul with a, hey, how are you doing? I'm going to do that. In terms of my personal work, I believe that my work as a reader, as a healer, as a guide, a medium, I believe that I am of assistance in that way. And I feel very blessed and fortunate to be able to do that here in this incarnation. I also, in being of service to other, oftentimes I help people connect each other. So I have a friend who needs assistance with respect to finding an independent place where she can bake her goods to sell, not sell, but, well, yes, to sell to a restaurant. And that I put up the request on Facebook. Hey, I have a friend who's looking for a place to bake goods for somewhere else. And someone answered, and I passed that information on. I shared about a potato leek and goat cheese tart with a homemade pie crust that I made, and a friend said, oh, I'd love that recipe. So I typed it up and sent it to her. So some of you might say, oh, that's not service to other. Nah, service to other are those big things like giving massive donations and giving up your volunteer time for a whole weekend and not getting paid. Now, sure, that's service to other. But I don't know how many of you know that service to other could be thinking well about someone. Taking in someone's mail when they are going to be away, or picking up their flyers on their driveway when they forgot to have them picked up, and then having them all accumulated. And then when they come back, you give them the mother load and they're really, really grateful because they didn't want it to look like their house was empty during their stay away. Whatever the case, you know what service to other is. Everyone does. Just like a child knows from early on what the difference is between hot and cold and good and bad. They basically, if they're not taught, they find out soon enough. And everyone knows about taking and giving. So I'm over here reminding you that you too can shift your perspective if you feel that you are more me-oriented, and you can consider other. It's healing for you, it's healing for other. And since we are all connected as one, your act of kindness, your thought, your act, or both of kindness towards other, your being of service to other, lifts us all. And as a collective, we thank you. And that's all I have from here. And I hope that this moment of considering other brings you into some state of, I never thought that that could be a gift for another person. So enjoy your time, and I will see you again. Bye, y'all.